Hello, I thought we'd go on an adventure today. It's Thursday, it's voting day here in the UK, and strange how your mind works sometimes. I was thinking I need to go up the high street to go and vote. Seeing as I'm up the high street, I may as well catch a train and go somewhere. So I'm going to go on a little adventure to somewhere that I've heard a lot about, but I've never been before. But first of all, let's go to the polling station. So I've done my voting, that's done and dusted. And now I'm going to catch the overground train to Whitechapel, Jack the Ripper territory. But we're not going to do anything about that today. We're on the search of a book.
Service update, Waterloo City Line. There is no service until further notice. Currently a good service operating on all other lines.
This station's been done up for years. I don't know when it's due to finish. But I'm changing here because we're going now to Upton Park, which I've never been to before. The weather looks passable, so as long as it doesn't rain, I'll be alright.
This is Whitechapel.
This is the first time I'm coming to London since before the pandemic. I thought it would be a bit busier than this, but it's dead.
The next station is Upton Park.
I love these ghost signs on the end of shops. Cut price tools, paint, ironmongery. There's a book that I want to buy, and I was going to buy it off Amazon, but it would take 20 days to turn up. And I'm not quite sure because it's only coming from Essex. So I found that it's available in the Newham Bookshop, and that is where I'm going. And if you've watched John Rogers, which is a channel that I like to tune into, this is sort of his manner then. I'm walking around the streets that he's filmed, and I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. And I know John's book is also in the Newham Bookshop, and it's been selling extremely well. This is about the third or fourth time they've printed it. So I've heard a lot about this bookshop. It's a nice little independent bookshop, and we're just coming up to it now. There's lots of development going on at the moment. But all these houses they're building, all these flats, they all just look the same. They just don't seem to have any character, not like these older houses. Okay, these all look the same as well, but there's a bit more character about these rather than just having a box. This is a beautiful building here. Obviously a church, maybe with the vicarage next door. I suppose these look even more stunning when they're in a street of like these box houses. And it's nice to see they've got space in front for a garden as well. Like a lot of churches today, it's being used for the election. But I just wanted to take a picture of this window here. I just love that little window there, the way that it opens. Fascinating little design that. Small things like this just make me happy. So I've arrived on the Barking Road, and according to my map, it's just around this corner. It's always strange coming to a place you've never been to before. Always unsure about where to go. Taking things a bit slowly. Here it is, here. The Newham Bookshop, which I've heard so much about from John Rogers. So we'll pop inside. I've reserved my book because I didn't want to come all this way and discover it was closed or something like that. So I have reserved it, so it's waiting for me. This is an interesting book here. I saw an interview with Jake Green on, again, the John Rogers Instagram. Like I said, we're in John Rogers country now, so I might mention him quite a bit. And there's his book there with some walks that he's done, so I'll put a link to his book as well in the description below. Hello. There's John's book there, signed copy. There he is.
And it's run as a committee.
Oh right, okay. Have you found there's been more interest in London since the lockdown?
Well, I mean, London has always been huge for us. Any books on London? And yes, in the lockdown, but we have people come from all over for our London section, which is huge. And
So how did it all start then, if it's done by a group of people?
well, a group of parents 43 years ago all put in a fiver to have a shop in this area to encourage reading, but also in the olden days there were classes upstairs for not only children but perhaps for adults who needed a bit of help with reading.
I'm attracted by covers half the time on things, but I'm trying to be good this year, and when I buy a book I actually bother to read it, because I've got so many books that I just buy because of the cover and then I never get around. See, now that looks an interesting one. How we spent the summer holidays from 1930 to 1980. I'm tempted to buy this one. So I've now ended up in a place called East Ham, and I'm on my way to Wanstead Flats, which is a large expanse of countryside, and I'm just waiting for the next bus now to catch. It certainly feels busy after the quietness of the last 12 months. Here we are. Look at that, straight off the bus and into the trees. Oh, it's getting a bit hot on that bus. It's a bit of a sticky day today. But look how beautiful this is. From the busyness of that little high street there to the quietness of Wanstead Flats. I wasn't expecting it to be this beautiful, I must say. And look, straight down to the river. And the sun's come out to make it even better. Look how beautiful the structure is on these trees. Well, I can't get over that, how quickly we got in. Oh, where to go? Well, I think I'll start my adventure by going up this little hill here. I'll put all the links to John's Wanstead Flats videos in the description below. I can hear a noise, and it's the geese, look. What a beautiful spot for a picnic, as long as you were happy to share. Look at this, it's like its own beach. So this place is called Alexandra Lake, and here's a bit of information about the oh, look at this. After the Second World War, prefabs were erected on Wanstead Flats to house those homeless by the bombs of the East End. An additional area was taken over for allotments, but they were taken down in the 50s. And this, I understand, is owned by the Corporation of London. Anyway, we could sit here all day, but let's know where I'm going. I'll just go for a little wander, but look how huge it is. And those two buildings over there, those two high-rise flats, well, during the Olympics they had a missile thing on top of it to shoot down the missiles in case they came in. All this information you can find over on John's channel. But just look how expansive this is. It's surprising that it's still here, although I have a feeling that a lot of the open space belongs to the corporation. Therefore they are looking after it quite well. Well, there's a bit of a fight going on down there. Live action. It's kicking off. So you've got the football fields on that side, and then over here they've just let it go wild. I can see lots of birds, so I'm imagining maybe some birds that nest towards the ground are in there, and it's just great to see. London, you think a bit like the horizon there, that everything just gets gobbled up and built on. Therefore these areas are a bit more special. But I've got no idea where I'm going. It just reminds me of being back on the mountain tops in Wales, and the streams are dried up there because it's been very dry over the last month in London. Just listen to that silence. Just imagine having this on your doorstep. It'd be fantastic. This is also the location where they held the barrage balloons during the war. And I understand that some of the key points where they held the balloon by ropes are still here, but I've got no idea where they are, so we probably won't see them. But again, go and watch John's video. Oh, what a great little day out, even if it's not beautiful weather. There's a section here, Save Our Skylarks. This area is temporarily fenced to protect the ground nesting birds during the breeding season. So skylark breeding season at the moment is that them there. So from this sign here, the nesting period is 31st of March to the 31st of August. Look at that juxtaposition there of the quietness of the flats here and the busyness of the city beyond. I've just seen a few people with long lens cameras. I don't think they'll find celebrities out this far, so they're obviously down here for the birds. And as that sun comes across, it's beautiful. I wish I'd brought a flask of tea now. One thing I'm experiencing that I haven't for a long time is the smell of the warm earth after the rain. From what I can make out, there's a road cutting through the flats there, and then over here, look at this. You could swear you were back in 1920s England. Okay, forget about the traffic, but the church there with a bit of grass looks absolutely stunning. I must say, it's turning into a beautiful day for weather. It reminds me of a little trip I did a long time ago now, about 15 years ago, where I was on the tube going into work, and I thought, I don't fancy going in today, I need to get out and see a bit of the countryside. So I went to a place called Neasden, which I actually thought was a seaside, but I'll explain more about that in a future video, because I do want to recreate this walk for you. But I ended up in a place called Welsh Harp Reservoir, and had a beautiful day out, just like this, walking around without a plan, just going where the instinct takes me. And looking at this, I think there must have been a fire here about, I'd say, a year ago, 2 years ago, where the gorse has come back now and it's starting to regenerate this area. But I'm going to go over there because I've just had a text, in fact, from John Rogers. And he's told me that if I head for the church, I'll be going to Wanstead Park, which I understand from his videos there's a lot more to see there regarding water. So I'm just about to leave this area and go over to the park. So if I'm correct, I'm leaving the flats and I'm going to the park. But just stunning. Blown away by it. And here we are at the church. So according to this sign here, I'm now in Wanstead village, and I'm at the base of this church here, which I'll find out what it is in a minute, what it's called. But it's great that they've got a garden. Sometimes you just need to sit in a garden and just be quiet, and even by the side of the road here it's possible. So it's called the Parish Church of St Gabriel, Aldersbrook. Never heard of that before. There is certainly a village feel around here. I'm guessing it's probably quite expensive to live around here as well. And just across the road there, look at that, a very tiny building, but that is the library, the Aldersbrook Library, London Borough of Redbridge. But that sign there, that looks very 1940s, doesn't it? Do not park in front of gates. So I've just walked down this street and look at this. Just imagine if you lived in that house on the corner. A few steps and you're in the woods. Must be amazing with all the wildlife. So I'm by gate 171 Woodlands Avenue, and this is Wanstead Park. I think, shall we just start on the right and just walk and see where we end up. Look at this lake. Looks now as if it's brought me back out to the street. But I'm going to go back in this side because I think I've seen a small cafe somewhere. So I've just had some tea, bit of cake and a sandwich at the little tea station by the pond. I'm just about to see it at the bottom of the path there. And look at this avenue of trees. Beautiful they are. Now one place I've always wanted to go, but always thought it's just too far, and I'll never ever get there, is Epping Forest. So I'm rather surprised to find that I am at the start of Epping Forest here. Again, owned by the City of London, the corporation. So now we're in Wanstead House and Park, must be at the end of those line of trees then. Again, links to John's videos below. He has lots of information, but just look how big this park is. This magpie seems to be following me. I've got no food, sorry. I think what makes this walk so special is the fact that it's quiet, because there's not a lot of people. I would imagine during the lockdown it might have been quite busy, and on bank holidays it's probably busy as well. Look, he's after something. I've got nothing for you, but if you want to come for the walk, then tag along. So it looks like we're leaving Wanstead and going to this place called Aldersbrook. It's starting to get a bit busy now. I would imagine doing this early morning it would be a riot of sound of the wildlife. Now that May is here, I'll be waking up a lot earlier, around about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And mid-May I'll do a special day where I get up about 3 to see the sunrise. because the sound of the wildlife in May seems to be a lot clearer and sharper. Now where do we go? All these little side bits. Wouldn't like to do this after a really heavy shower, but it's nice today. Looks like we're coming back out now into the streets. I can see houses coming up. So are we coming to the end of the walk? I do not know, but we'll soon find out. Can you hear that church bell? It's 4 o'clock apparently, and I think I've ended up back at the start of where I came in, by the side of that house. So it feels like it's a good place to end this video. So I hope you've enjoyed this little trip out, and this place is massive, so no doubt I'll be back to do a bit more exploring in the future. So tell me if there's anything like this in your area in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to become a patron, help me get out and about and do some more videos like this, I'll put the details in the description below. Oh, quite exhausted now. I think I'm gonna jump on the tube and head home. So thanks for joining me, and until next time, bye for now.